Right, it's been a day. The tank's looking awesome. The water's cleared up, but it's got this really, really nice tint to it that I think I'm going to keep because it's a real natural boggy sort of look. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Look at that cool tint. I think that looks really, really like natural. It'll look more so when we've sorted the top here. At the moment it looks a bit weird on its own. And then up the top here I've also left this running so I could see what happens to the cardboard pockets, if you like. They're actually containing moisture, so it shows that the moisture's travelling. I've kind of joined them up with ripped bits of cardboard, as you can see, and that's keeping that moisture flowing into the other one. A little bit too much in that one obviously, but I think it's going to work really, really well. I can adjust that one as well so that it doesn't spit up over the top like that, because you don't want too much water going onto the roots of the plants that we're going to put in there. Now, before we put all our plants in, I want to get my mosses on, and to do that I need to cover all of this gravel in like a mix of aqua soil, cocoa fibre and, you know, like dried mosses. I just mulch them all together and then we can just place it all on top. So this is super easy to do. All I'm doing is putting the dry aqua soil into the bowl and then I'm adding water to it, and this means that we can then squeeze it together to make it form sort of shapes. That on its own probably won't be a long-term solution, and it won't hold moisture that well either. To help with that, I'm also putting in some terrarium substrate and dried mosses. As we mould all these together now with the water, it's going to create a really good substrate for the terrestrial mosses to bind to. Eventually they'll grow into it, and it'll also provide them with a good amount of moisture at all times. I'm now placing filter floss on top of all the stones that we see in there. This is just basically to stop any of the soil leaking down into the water column. It will eventually make its way down there, but we want to try and prevent it as best we can. Right, so I've hosed everything down, and you can also see inside the cardboard pockets. Hang on. There we go. Inside the cardboard pockets, we've got some of the filter floss as well. That's when we've got the potting soil in there that's going to be on the plants. It won't just go straight into the water column. It will make its way in there eventually, but it's not just going to flood it, so we should be okay. Next thing we can do now is put all the aqua soil mix on top of the filter floss. Right, lesson learned there. Do not get your soil mix too close to running water. I put that section there where that water's dripping, like right on it, and of course forgetting, and it just pushed it all down into the water. It should clear in no time. To be honest, it's actually making it look more and more natural, but we don't want it too murky, do we? So yeah, you can see we've got the aqua soil dotted around. That's going to give us a nice sort of base for all the mosses that we want to go on there to sit on. And here are those mosses. So I'm in an area just outside the studio, and every time I drive past this I think, oh my goodness, that moss, the twigs and everything, it looks so good. So I'm just going to collect some of this up, put it in a pot, and we can put it in our aquarium or aquascape or Aqua Terrarium, whatever it is. Click subscribe. Right, it has now been several days since I first put the moss in, and you know what, some interesting little things are happening. First point to note, how awesome is the colour of that water. I don't know what it is, but there's something about having green above and no green below when you've got tanned water that just works. Tanned, by the way, is this colour. It's the wood. The wood is leaching like the browns into the water. You can actually get rid of it by doing water changes and also adding something like Purigen into your filter. But, you know, I love it. I think it looks great. And actually, it's going to replicate a similar environment to what we want for the turtle. You know, we want it to be as realistic as possible. No, we don't. We don't always want that, do we? In this tank, we want it to be as realistic as possible. I do. I'm even going to be adding leaf litter and making it more like a proper bog or swamp. I mean, at the end of the day, that's where these turtles are from. But even just like that, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? But you can't stop there. We've got to create a forest. So that's why I've got those cups at back, remember, is because they are there to be planted into, and I've got some absolutely awesome ferns to go into them. I want those whole areas sort of coming over like that, and then we've got a gap in the middle. It'll be like a focal point with the light coming through. Remember, we still got to put on the UV bulb for Timmy. Even though he doesn't bask that much, it'll still be good when he's near the surface of the water. Yeah, but the next job, let's get those ferns in. So here's the ferns we got to choose from. I don't know. Asplenium, dry terrace. Look, I can't even do the aquatic plants. I'm not even going to attempt these ones. But look, I went for a variety of ferns. We've got, like, look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? How nice is that? And then I've got this sort of finer one at the back. Again, I want to create different textures. So we've got big ones, smaller ones. And then again, this one as well, completely different to the others. And in fact, if it's not enough, I can go back and get more. They're super cheap. Like, they're massive and the same price as a tiny aquatic plant, so that's awesome. So they're all in big pots of soil, a bit too big. So what I can do is take them out, remove some of the soil, and then we can just put them straight into our cups, remember, that we put up here, because these cups are not in the water. They're just receiving a little bit of moisture. You can maybe see in this one. Right, there we go. Look, now you can see. Look around the edge of that where I've put the filter floss at the bottom. Look, there's moisture, so that's going to be just enough to keep the soil moist and the ferns growing awesome. Yeah, same again on that side. Look, perfect. Right, I just pulled this whole fern out, look. Off. Well, anyway, yeah, there we go. The whole thing is full of soil. That's way too much soil. There's quite a lot of roots as well, so we'll have to break some off, but they'll all grow back. It'll be okay. I mean, that one piece is going to be too much for those little pots. We can try and split it though, can't we? Okay, there we go. Once I'd removed most of the excess soil, I mean, there was way too much in that pot for what was needed. That's pretty much the root system on half. You saw me split it in half there, which is perfect, because just like with aquascaping, we just want to keep, you know, a little bit of each plant on each side. It just creates a good balance. Not always, but, you know, most of the time stick to that. Unless you've got a big feature plant or something. Anyway, so that's quite a good size to be able to squeeze and put into one of those cups. I might have to trim it a little, but yeah, let's get it in. Right, so I did have this fern in here. I've wrapped some electrical tape around the cardboard so you can't see it, and it's black. Now, when I put it back, okay, it does look pretty decent. I mean, I've just placed it there, but it would be placed better. But I feel like I'm destroying that sort of, I don't know, like openness in that area. So I'm going to put it in that gap instead. Look, if I put it there, like that. I mean, I'll do it properly in a minute, but yeah. And there we go, and it just looks a lot better, doesn't it, having that sort of negative space in the middle as well. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go with that. Oh, yes, right. Some of you won't get this and some of you will, but there's something about like having a vision and holding on to that vision while you're creating something, and then it turning out either as good as you envisioned or even better. And in this case, I think it looks better than I even thought it would. It looks honestly like a little part of a forest stream, and that's what I wanted to go for. It's going to be nice and gloomy in some areas for Timmy when he wants to hide. When he wants to hide, he can, that little area in there, but he'll always be coming to the foreground, you know, to get food off me. You've seen how much he begs. I'm also going to be putting in a couple of fish with him as well. Bigger fish that are fast, white cloud mountain minnows. They are quick, and I just think they'll add a little bit of interest, and there's no way he's going to be able to catch them. They're almost as big as him, to be honest. But anyway, that is all to come in the next episode, or the next vlog, or whatever you want to call it. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one.